Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, hello there, Mr. Costa. Long time no chat or see. JK.
Yeah. So what are we doing today, huh?
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. We're going to do some live streaming talking about the Land of Eam RPG. Specifically, we're gonna finish up the map. It's almost done. We just got to add some locations and make some minor tweaks. We've got big news.
Really?
We do. The beta of the RPG is going to be released. What is it, next week for Comic-Con?
Yes.
So,
there's going to be a Comic-Con, virtual Comic-Con. So you'll be able to go on our site and download it for free.
Download the beta rules for free. And there's a lot in there, too. It's pretty substantial. So if you want to get in on that, we're going to be making that possible. Actually, I'm going to read a list of just everything that's in the beta. And Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Let's see. And you can check out more about it at rickettystitch.com/RPG. There's all the Land of Eam info. But as it stands, the beta will have the core rules so you can play and create your own stuff. It'll also have some canned characters that are pre-generated, which if you've seen one of our past live streams, Ben actually was doing the art and drawing up the characters, and maybe we'll share those at some point again today for those of you that missed it. But there's 6 classes, 6 pre-generated characters. There's over 100 random encounters. There's over 100 magical items, over 100 traps, puzzles, and riddles. There will be 20 completed creatures. We've got a list of 50 curses that people can use. And what's great is like a lot of the stuff is super usable on other RPG systems. So feel free to use it. But what's really cool is that the beta rules also come with one of the regions of the Mucklands sandbox project that Ben and I have been working on.
The one you see right here, there used to be forest, and so we're making some additions and changes before we launch it. You'll actually have the full map, but we're only going to provide the sandbox setting that we've created for the used to be forest.
Yeah, and the plan is to release the rest of the Mucklands sandbox with all the other regions, and which have dozens of towns and characters and quests and their own sets of random encounters. It's a lot of stuff, and we're also going to release a what do you call it? An adventure module. The beta comes with an adventure module. The Temple of the Sarpathic.
I don't know that I would call it a full module, maybe like a starting adventure.
It's like a starting adventure, and then we'll finish out the starting adventure with the release of the Mucklands, so that you've got a full adventure module with over 7 chapters and all that stuff. And what's cool is that a lot of that stuff is really close to being done. It's not like we're saying, hey, all the things we're going to do. No, we've worked really hard to make it so it's accessible. So it's going to be a big day, and we can't wait to get your feedback about playing the Land of Eam. I know I'm excited. Huh?
Yeah. Yes, I am also excited.
But we have a lot of other announcements too. We've just opened up our own Discord. So you can actually join us on Discord, and Ben will share the link. But the link will also be in the description of the video on YouTube. So we'll be hanging out on Discord periodically, working on comics, working on games, working on all the stuff we're working on. And
could you actually share the link with me so I could share it?
Yeah, I mean, I got it right here. Oh, hold on. I've got it right here. I'm going to test it out. I've never actually clicked the link. Yep, that's it.
The rebels are there.
The rebels are there. Captain Nita. Is it Nita?
Apology accepted, Captain Nita.
Yo, that's right. Oof. That's some stuff I should know. Like as a Star Wars geek, it's pretty basic stuff. But yeah, we just launched it. Today is the first time we've ever shared the link, so you can join the Discord, and there's lots of different channels on there. And for our patrons on Patreon, thank you very much for supporting us, by the way. There's also a private Patreon channel in there that we'll be sharing stuff, and you can ask us questions directly, and we can hop on some chats.
Yes,
What else?
Please make the Discord less barren, because we just started.
It's a blank canvas filled with opportunity for adventure. You know? Hello, George. How are you?
Georgie boy.
George says, that's a lot of value. It is. The Land of Eam is a lot of value. And
Because you're getting it for nothing.
You're getting it for nothing, and it's huge. And all we ask in return is that if you read through it, you have fun with it, you play games, you go on the first adventure, we would love to hear your feedback on how it went and how we can improve it so that when we do the full release, it's all neat and tidy and super fun. Super fun!
I mean, this is like a fully playable game. The biggest thing that's missing is like art and just rules refinement, maybe. But we've been playing it ourselves for, over a year. At least.
George says, you're saying you want it to be like the Barons chat. Got it. No, George. We don't want it to be like the
Chuck
Barons
Norris
chat.
jokes.
A lot of Chuck Norris jokes. Anybody that says we built this city, everyone replies on rock and roll, which is also delightful. It's pretty.
So for those of you just joining, I'm just making some additions to the map before we release the game next week, specifically to the used to be forest region.
And there's some locations that need to be added too. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm moving this stump, the stump.
Yep.
I'm going to put the town of Marsh Gate down here where this was, and
the town of Marsh Gate.
We got to add Unassailable Co. somewhere. Somewheres, and perhaps some roads, at least the Great Slog that runs across the map
from the
east
middle
to
route
west.
Runoff all the way to the middle route run.
And there may be some other roads you can follow. What roads do is they just give you a bonus to your traveling checks. You trek across this hex map here. And I'm also going to increase the opacity here of the
She's stumped. She's just a log, is what George just said. Sorry, it delights me, Ben.
Wow.
Comments are hilarious, and I love them all.
Wow.
Whoa.
All right.
Look at that Wally's Waffles and Wogs right there. Finest
Wally's is the starting hub, basically, of the game.
Just like the Rickety Stitch series. It's where Rickety begins his adventure at Wally's Waffles and Works. It occurred to me, Ben, that there's like lots of fast food jokes in the Land of Eam and Rickety Stitch. Like the only 3 named food things that we created are Wally's Waffles and Wargs, of course. Nork's Noodle Nook, which is just like a noodle place. And the Nakadonkey Tube Steaks, which are essentially hot dogs that you can get in River Country.
Yeah. So are you suggesting we need to like make more to make it more realistic?
more more variation, like, yeah, we gotta have like a pizza place. Or do you mean more like more variety? Like there's like, oh, you can get a salad.
The former.
I mean, I think the former and the latter, just because I want to be able to get a salad in Quartle. Like I want to get like
Just a quartal salad of it.
it's a quarter salad. No, the quartles aren't in
the.
the salad, but that's what they.
It's just a bunch of lettuce.
George says, "Y'all need a McDonald's." That's good, and we do.
Old McDonald.
It's got a like a used to be tiger McRib cage you can eat.
Wow. Muck ribs.
Quartle, a quartle pounder with cheese.
God.
Oh, funny stuff. Funny stuff. Marsh Gate.
What should Marsh Gate look like?
Well, if I recall, there's like a mansion there. Maybe like a... I don't know. I don't know what Marsh Gate should look like.
Marsh Gate.
Let us access our own sandbox and see what it says. What did the past Ben and James say on the subject? What did they say, those guys? The young Benny and Jimmy.
Like, is it a real town?
Good question. Yeah, I think it is. Marsh Gate. It's a wet and moldy shantytown run by rival goblin dungeoneering companies.
Wet and moldy.
Wet.
Okay.
Because it's the Marsh Gate, you know what I mean? So it looks like it's got like representatives from all three of the big goblin tycoon dungeoneering companies, your Subterranean Pits and Lairs LLC, Krog and Sons Inc., and Unassailable Co.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Is it like a real town, or is it like
I don't think it's a real town.
an
I think
outpost?
Like, yeah,
like
I think it's outposty, but it does have one building in it, the Marshgate Mansion. But that could be a gag. That mansion could be, just a bigger shanty. It also has a Crazy Ernie's custom traps there. Crazy Ernie's custom traps. George says the Marsh Gate should equal the setting of Yojimbo, which is actually a pretty good idea.
kind of is in a way.
It is a really good idea.
I mean, the idea of like pitting these companies against each other is sort of
inherent to the location,
baked into it.
Yeah. So for those of you just joining us, Ben is finishing up the Land of Eam RPG map because we are releasing the beta game, next week. And it's going to be really exciting. We're celebrating Comic-Con online by releasing the game, and we'll do a live stream, and it'll be super fun. The game comes with a adventure module. It comes with the entire core rulebook, lots and lots of tables to roll traps and puzzles and NPCs and all that stuff, just random encounters. And it actually comes with a sandbox, a one of the 6 regions that make up the Mucklands sandbox that we'll be releasing with the full game. And so Ben is creating the town of Marsh Gate, which I'm just looking at it right here. It's a moldy shanty town with a loose confederacy of rival dungeoneering companies with subterranean pits and layers. Cognizance just said that, and it's got. Let's see what's going on. Like, here's an example. So, like, there are 3 rumors. There are 4 NPCs. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's like 10 rumors, 4 NPCs, 4 quest chains, all located in this one specific location. And I don't even know how many locations are in the used to be forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's nearly 20 locations that all have dozens of characters and quests and sublocations and rumors. It's pretty substantial and really usable for a GM. It's a really usable sandbox. We endeavored to make it not very wordy, so it's just as direct as it can be with enough flavor to be a really good tool set. It's fun to make. I love making this kind of thing.
It's not very wordy, but there's so much content that there's a lot of words.
That's true. It's not very wordy. Each location is like a page or 2, maybe 2 pages on average.
Yeah, just about all of them are like page and a half, 2 pages.
Yeah. So they're not particularly long. There's just a lot of them. There's like almost 20. It's incredible. That's just the used to be forest. That's not the other 5 locations. So if this is going to be a multi-hundreds page sandbox that is going to be just have baked content that takes place in this world.
I can show what it's looking like so far.
Oh yeah. Krogland. Look at that.
So we basically break it down, like what's the gist of it, what's going on, who's who at this place, what are some rumors about it, what are some rumors you might hear about other places at this location, and there are several quest hooks.
George says he wants a solo module.
To play by yourself?
He said with contempt. This is collaborative play.
You got no friends?
I was tooling around with a like a simple D12 solo. I wouldn't call it a solo module of Land of Eam, but a solo system. Maybe I should resurrect that. George can playtest it. But it wasn't meant to be like a whole adventure. It was meant to be just like a fun dice game that you could run through.
All right, I'm just now posting the Discord. If anyone wants to join.
Yeah,
George, as a member of our Patreon, you have a special role if you join. Might have to figure out how to set that up, but it's true.
And explain role, Ben. What does role mean?
It's a good question. And
you
you're just like,
job to do. You got to tell 10 people, and those people got to tell 10 people.
It just means that you are not a regular member. You're like a wizard or something.
Yeah.
And I think you can hang out with us in an area to voice chat or something.
Yep. There's a special voice chat area that we'll be jumping into. And if you are a member of our Patreon, you actually get access to that, which is pretty cool. So we can talk comics. We can talk RPGs. It's a fun spot. George says, I will moderate the heck out of things randomly. Good. It's we like it to be random, just to keep us on our toes. There's a lot of different sections to the Discord too. You got Wally's Tavern, which is like general conversation. It's like you got your announcements and banter stuff. Then there's the Land of Eam RPG section that's all about the playtest and general conversations about it. People can post their characters and adventures, which I can't wait for that to start populating. And then of course the Ricky Stitch comic series, like it's a whole section just specifically for comics. And then we've got the 2 voice chat channels for the Patreon patrons. It's be really cool. I haven't really used Discord that much. Like I've only recently used it, and it was to play Vermintide with my little brother.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with it either.
But the audio quality was classic. I mean, it was good. It was good audio quality. I was surprised. I was like, gosh, no wonder these people are on the Discord. Tweeting about it, doing the Twitter, the Google.
Uh-huh.
I mean, let me check my Netscape Navigator.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Jeeves if I can download the AOL CD. Can you download a CD?
You gotta have it. You gotta have it on hand. You know, they gotta mail it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a Halloween party not too many years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, and there was a person there that was just wearing a blazer with AOL CDs on it, and he just called himself a software pirate. And I thought it was kind of good. He made me laugh, you know.
It's good stuff, you know. My dog
Marsh
is over here. See my dog here. It's my dog.
Look at that. Hey, Bug, how you doing? You can't hear me, but I love you. Bug the dog. Team Rickety Stitch. This is our continuity editor.
Just checking stuff out right now to see if it's all hunky-dory.
Mm-hmm. She's adorbs.
And I think we're good. No problems. And
No problems. So quality assurance from Bug Costa.
all right. Well, there's maybe Marsh Gate right there. And
Indeed.
I think I'm going to put in some roads.
Cool. Gotta have those roads.
The roads.
The Melody Cave. Orfang's Dungeon. For those of you that don't know, Orfang's Dungeon is actually where the skeleton bard Rickety Stitch of the Rickety Stitch series used to work before he got fired in the first sequence of the series. Worked at Orfang's Dungeon. Quick stop. How long have we been working on this, Ben?
9 years.
I think it was the Nixon administration when we started. So
I remember running a prototype like an early prototype, like several years ago,
Yeah.
maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we didn't work on it for a long time. I think maybe like the past 2 years.
Past 2 years, yeah. I would say last year is probably when we were the heaviest on it. And now, this year, of course. I feel like we work on it every day for many hours. It's a labor of love, though. We really love the tabletop RPGs. It's a lot of fun. And a great collaborative. Fun times with your pals, you know?
Oh, sure. Sure.
For sure. For sure.
I said sure. This goes to the Crossroads, okay?
Also featured in the first volume of Rickety Stitch. And if you haven't read it, and you're a fan of graphic novels and fantasy stuff, you should definitely check it out. So the links are available in any of our YouTube videos, as well as on social media and Amazon. So definitely check it out. We would be very much appreciative.
My dog is whining in the corner, like begging to be belly rubbed. It's really sad.
That is sad. You made me so sad, Ben.
But I can't. Can't do it.
My cat was sitting on the windowsill just looking at bees buzzing around the flowers outside. That's her job for about 2.5 hours a day. I told you she fell in the toilet yesterday. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
My kitten Noodle got a little excited playing and leapt into the toilet and scared herself, scrambled out and ran around the house. There's these little wet footprints everywhere. Oh,
Poor child.
yeah, she's a little nutcase. She's cute though. Dirt Nap Dunes. The Dirt Nap Dunes. I was taking a wagon from Wally's through the Dirt Nap Dunes on my way to Crickstop when I found myself a Bogrillian war tortoise.
And then what happened?
That's it. I saw it. And the horses hadn't eaten for a few days, and so there ain't no foliage on the ground. The Sounder Hills. Capturing the bug.
It's been doing this for like 3 minutes.
That's really funny. It reminds me of going to your house and like if I would put my hand up like this, she would just roll onto her back automatically. Even if I wasn't even close. Like I'd be on the other side, I'd be standing in the kitchen, she'd be in the living room. Just love it.
She lives for it.
She does. That's her job. Receiving belly rubs is her job.
She's given up now. She just gave up.
Oh no. The struggles, you know, to be a dog. So what do you think? So the roads should probably go from like the main population centers, right? Like the road to Fleabag County, the road to the Drippy Downs, which could be this one.
Yeah, I kind of don't want there to be like a ton of roads.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking like 2 or 3 is it, you know?
Like it'd be cool if there was really nothing going down like the,
Yeah,
south in the used to be forest.
Yep, that makes sense. Because Quagmash area, which is just below Ben's screen, that's all essentially frontier, uncharted territory for the most part. You see, like, there's tents and camps, but there's no real population centers or anything like that until you get down to the Scalawag Strand. But even that is kind of boomtowny, piratey. George says, and roads are implied. So, like, the roads on the map are like the freeways. They're like the big roads. Because you may be up in the mountains and find a path, but that doesn't need to be represented on the map itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real. For real. You know?
Okay. So like
Maybe like where the D is in Dirtnap, maybe one road that goes down to Thurf and into Fleabag County. Doesn't necessarily need to connect them all, but or
what about from Crickstop to Thurf?
yeah, that's good. The middle route runoff, that's right there as well, heading into river country. But river country, you have to take a boat everywhere anyway, so I don't see a lot of road. I don't think any roads are up there. It's just you're taking one of the waterways, the Nakadinky or the Nakadonkey, where you can get a tube steak. Get a tube steak and like some fries and
Nakadonkey Bayou, you know what I mean?
the Nakadonkey Bayou. You can get yourself some chili cheese fries down there.
Yeah, so the question is, do we have roads like between these towns? I feel like it'll
kind of
negate these other areas,
right. I don't know. I think that Fleabag County is pretty like insulated. It's like broken up by rivers and the towns are pretty close together, whereas the used to be forest is kind of expansive and barren.
Mm-hmm.
George would like to order a Nakadonkey chili dog and a diet mead. I'd like a diet grog, diet mead. Oh.
A diet choach.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Noodle. Yeah. Just a few. Just a few there. It breaks up some of the visual space in some places. It doesn't need to be overly detailed because You don't want to make it over complex, or else it's like a lot of visual noise.
Say that again. JK.
When did people stop saying JK? About 10 years ago? JK.
I never stopped.
Or do you do it only in texts? Although occasionally I will say BRB out loud to people. I feel like that's been adopted as like an acceptable nomenclature. Like BRB.
I mean,
TGIF. TTYN.
we're of an age that is like,
Making tabletop RPGs.
oh, here's my problem. No. We like grew up with the internet, but remember a childhood when there wasn't.
That's true.
So we're not like I'm not fully invested in the internet.
That's a really funny sentence, but I totally get it. I'm not exactly a believer yet. But
I don't really know what I'm saying.
I know, I hear what you're saying. Like I grew up playing outside like every day. Like there was no internet to speak of. Like I probably didn't even super start adopting the internet until high school and like college, you know?
Same.
I don't really remember doing much on computers in middle school, other than maybe playing the occasional like new computer game like Warcraft 2 or something like that. Diablo.
The first game that I really played was Diablo 2.
Mine was Diablo 1. Or first game I really played, I think, was Warcraft 2 and Diablo 1. But I didn't play I didn't play Warcraft 2 that much, but it was like definitely the gateway game for me. I think I watched Amir playing it, and it like blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I became obsessed with using the map maker. I don't know if you remember that, but you could make your own battle maps, like add trees and stuff like that, which
I don't.
it was cool. It was cool. Diablo 2 was great. We played that for so long. If you think about it, like what was the running gag that like we would like stop playing for so many years that no one could find their discs and we'd have to buy a new one?
Yeah, I think I've bought the game like 5 times.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because I remember this one time in college, we all went to buy new copies of The Lord of Destruction because all of ours were gone. We were playing Diablo 2 in college.
And when you get that itch, it strikes.
It
like,
strikes
real
hard and fast, and it's like that $12 for that like archaic game is nothing.
I think they sell it now. Like you can download it, of course, now, and it's still like $20.
That's amazing.
They know people want to still play it.
Yeah, I do kind of. Like we should play right after this. Do a Barbarian Brothers run on hardcore.
Wow.
No magical items, no repairing. If it's broken, you drop it and you pick something else up. It's the only way to play. I bet Amir would play with us.
I bet George would play. That might be good for roads.
Yeah,
honestly,
I agree.
At least for right now. Because I don't know, I don't really see like a main road going through the Drippy Downs.
Neither do I. It doesn't make sense. The land of Eam is like
untamed.
It's untamed. All of the roads that would have existed have been gone for 1,000 years. It's just it's a new age. It's a new era, a dungeon era. Full of ghosts, and goblins,
And ghouls and ghoulies.
and gremlins, or whatever.
And Gith Yankees.
If Yankees and Mogwais.
Yeah, we've adopted Gith Yankees. And
No. No, we have not. He is lying. We did finally adopt a Manticore, though, after having Manticore jokes in everything we've ever created. Ever. Not having a Manticore in the game seemed ridiculous.
I mean, there are tons of mentions of it in the random encounters. We just didn't make the creature until last week.
I mean, there's tons
I think
of
we
mentions.
just intended for it to be there. There's several things like that.
I was working on the Used to Be Forest random encounters yesterday. There are several mentions of manticores, but there are also a lot of other creatures that I essentially just like swapped out for current creatures. Like howling jump spider, like like all kinds of stuff that like isn't created yet. So I
Just stream of consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially. So Ben and I will go into, we've known each other for like 20 years. So like when we're collaborating on something, we can finish each other's sentences and like just like go from one to the other. And many times we'll just be in the same Google document for like 20 minutes, just not even speaking. And so what we were working on, Ben made a comment a couple of days ago, like, oh, you know, we keep mentioning that people can get cursed by things, like this will curse you or that, but we have no list of curses. So we just opened up a spreadsheet and in 20 minutes wrote 50 curses. Just like, and it's like one of the funnest things ever for us. Just like making random tables that are useful and usable and like have cool stuff. But
maybe you should read some of the curses.
yeah, actually, I still have it open. So I'm going to read the first several curses. Maybe I'll just pick and choose or something. But so the very first curse that can happen to you is bones of glass. Your bones break so easily that on a single blow will cause 1 wound. It's a pretty substantial curse. You like want to get rid of that. The second one under that is iron feet. You cannot run or jump. These are severe. These are like, these are no joke curses. These are, if somebody gets cursed, you got to go find a way to. Bray of the beast. You have a goat head and speak only goat language. That would impede you. Fibber's collar. You cannot lie. That's tough. Thinking about all the situations.
You can, of course, go out and try to find a cure, like remove the curse.
Yeah, and we talked about
witches all around that you can.
There's witches and there's alchemy and all kinds of ways that you can remove a curse. But what I liked about these Land of Eam curses is that they're legitimately mess you up. So if like it happens that one of the characters gets cursed, that drives everybody to really work together to find a cure for it, because you know you could be in a situation where you turn into a talking rat, your blood turns to acid, you can't go in the sunlight. You become a ghost and cannot physically interact with any objects or people. Or my personal favorite, Ben, number 20, vegetable, you turn into a talking turnip. That's good. How do you deal with that? You just go into somebody's pocket? I don't know.
I don't know. You become a crime lord, turnip. It's like
that
bossing
puppet
people around.
Batman.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Scarface.
Scarface. That's what it is. Deathly grip. You cannot let go of the last thing that you touched. That could be both devastating and hilarious. You turn into an 11-year-old child. This one's interesting because it could have like lots of fallout. You may only use cursed weaponry. So you have to like find that. Or you're unable to use weapons.
Find it. Get cursed by the cursed weapon. So now you got 2 curses.
Yeah, it's a quagmire. You know what I mean? That's a snowball going downhill, is what that is. That's wild stuff. One of my other favorites is your head turns into pure gold. Which is this? Which location are you doing?
Unassailable Co.
Ah, yes. The mighty and mysterious Unassailable Co.
Trying to make like a fortress compound.
An Unassailable Co. As it were. An Unassailable Co. As it were. I just went to ricketystitch.com to play with the magic item generator briefly, and the first roll that I made to generate an item is the glorious ball. Necromantic telescope.
We must find the glorious ball.
The fluffy great axe of ambition. Dual daggers of Umek's rage. Bow of the Hawk. That sounds very Forgotten Realmsy.
Hawk the Slayer's bow.
It is Hawk the Slayer's bow. That's canon. We spent a substantial amount of money licensing the rights to make a Hawk the Slayer's bow. And if you haven't seen Hawk the Slayer, it's an abysmal fantasy movie from the 80s that is also hilarious.
So bad it's good.
It's so bad it's good. It's hard to believe it even exists. And what boggles my mind is that the legendary actor Jack Palance is in it, and he plays the bad guy. It's so weird. Reptilian tunic. The alchemist's snow boots. That's the weirdest, best one yet. A gelatinous anchor. Our ship is locked into place by an anchor made out of jelly. A worm's onion of law.
Worm's onion?
Yeah.
Dragon?
Like a dragon.
Like a dragon?
Like a dragon.
A dragon.
Chalice of courage. The luggage of escape. An astral goo. Oily leg warmers of the deep. The charismatic lamp of the pretender. Indestructible rope. That's actually pretty pretty awesome. The enduring bucket of terror.
Sounds horrifying.
It does. These are all randomly generated, but because we wrote all the
Copy.
the copy, like we're cranking out newspapers at midnight. We need that copy. Single-use jacket. As soon as you wear it, it disintegrates. The hip boots of never-ending sorrow. Lichen of despair. A humongous apron. It's huge. That's all it is. It's humongous. It's like Golo the Gargantuan's apron.
An ogre's, yeah. Ogre's apron.
It's an ogre's apron. Passed down by his grandma. Charismatic pastry of the tortoise. It's delicious and overalls of the warlock. I could actually just use that all day. Just read them because they're so funny and random. Is that a cannon at the top of Unassailable Go? That's amazing. I love it. So for those of you just joining, Ben is actually adding the final locations to the final map to the Land of Eam Mucklands sandbox. And we are super excited because we're going to release the beta rulebook, the Used to Be Forest sandbox, a first adventure, and some canned characters that people can play next week for free in celebration of Comic-Con Online.
Indeed.
Indeed. Ben is drawing Unassailable Co., the third in the trifecta of dungeoneering outfits that compete for resources and supremacy in the Used to Be Forest.
Is it possible to direct people to that playtest thing we're doing, or is it just completely random?
I don't know yet. The links and stuff are not set up, but yes. So in a couple of weeks, Ben and I are running ourselves. We're going to be GMing a bunch of Land of Eam test games to celebrate Gen Con Online 2020. We're doing 5 or 6 events or something. And as soon as we have the links, we will share them with you so that if you'd like to play the Land of Eam game with us, you can.
Somehow the one that we scheduled ourselves, like the event that we made, is already sold out.
Yeah, the first event is already sold out, but we're going to do our best to share those links. It was sold out before we even got the link or before we could even share it. It was nuts. But we will share the new ones as soon as we find out if we can. It's a little wonky. It's like the process for setting them up is a little bit odd. So it's not easy for us to immediately know where to go, unfortunately. But we'll do our best to share that stuff with you guys. So if you want to play with us, you can. It's a nice, tight 2-hour session. So yeah, we'll be doing that like 4 or 5 times in just a couple weeks. Unassailable Co. Our dungeons are unassailable. Ben, if you, I'd like to give you the magical item that I just found on RicketyStitch.com. It's modern saddlebags. I'm kind of afraid that I'll eventually hit like the pick an item so many times that just like something comes up like a Ford Taurus,
Wow.
a Big Mac,
A Big Mac from McDonald's.
from
Big Muck.
McDonald's, Big Muck, or a cheesy gordita crunch. You know what I mean?
God. Cheesy gordita crunch.
Unassailable Co. Gosh, we're already coming up on an hour, man. Just flies by.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
Indeed.
Okay. Okay.
Do you know what else is missing? Like what towns are not represented? Those are the only two obvious ones, right? Other than Scalawag Strand.
Yeah, I mean, for the used to be forest, this is it. But then it's like Muckland Harbor, Anchor Bottom.
Oh, yeah. Fort Ironwall needs to go somewhere.
Yeah. I don't think we've written anything about it, though.
It's just mentioned.
I don't know. I'm not like... I will get to these if there's time for the beta. Like, you know, these two things.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah.
Classic. Well, it's 12 o'clock, Mr. Costa.
Thank you so much for coming and watching us and showing up late. Well, we're releasing the open beta rulebook next week sometime, and it's going to be great.
Indeed. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you'd like, you can check out the links in the description of the video. It's got a link to our new Discord account, which we'll be hanging out on periodically throughout the week. And so populate it with things. It's got lots of different channels. You got Rickety Stitch, you got Land of Eam. It's got Wally's
I'll link
Tavern.
it again right here.
Yeah, link it again. And a very special thank you to all of our patrons on Patreon. Your support really helps us out, and the fruits of your investment in us is going to be released next week. We've got this gigantic beta to release, and we're really excited about it. So there you have it. Thank you so much, and have a great weekend.
Goodbye, everybody.
Take care.